right, what's up, y'all? Welcome to Indytalk 101, and I'm here with my girl, Dom. Dom did it, unique apparel, period. Thank you for coming on the show today. How are you?
Thanks for having me. I'm good.
You're welcome. That's good. So, tell me about, pretty much we all know her as that bomb hairstylist. We know her as the bomb designer. When I went to Clarion, she actually was in our fashion show. She was one of the designers, as well as the recent fashion show last year. You were designer as well. So how's that been? First of all, just with doing hair first.
So I really love doing hair. As a lot of people know, it was a last minute career path for me. Honestly, throughout high school, I was honestly going to go the college route and going to do everything the traditional way. But once COVID hit and we had to start figuring out little hustles just to do, and I started doing hair, and then I started taking it serious. And a lot of people don't know, I got accepted into all my dream schools. I was on my way to Clark, Atlanta. All I had to do was send one last thing from my FAFSA, and my mom looked at me and was like, are you going to college because this is what you want to do, or are you going because of me? And, my mom, she's, a principal. She's getting her doctorate. Everybody in my family is education. So I'm like, you know what? I really was only doing it 'cause this is the only way that they tell you. So once I'm I do hair, I'm getting better at it. I start looking at cosmetology schools, and then after that, after I went and toured the school, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I could really make a career out of this. I just took off from there, and then now I'm here.
I love that. So what's the biggest goal for you with hair? What's the climax?
So my biggest goal is honestly, I'm not going to say once I own my salon, I'm there. But honestly, that's just the biggest goal I really have. I want to own multiple salons.
Right.
But my biggest goal is really to own a salon. And a lot of people have been asking me, ever since I started at the first shop I was at, I've gotten asked, well, are you ready now? Are you ready now? And I would always tell people, yeah, I should be ready by the end of next year, or the end of this year, or the end of next year. But that's kind of changing over time, because I don't want to just buy a building and that be my salon. I want to make sure I know everything I need to know about the business. I know everything, not everything, because I'll never know everything, but everything I need to know at least.
Right.
I feel like that's when I'll be comfortable enough to actually make that decision. And then once I get my salon, that's the one milestone that once I do that, I could do anything. So honestly, that's the biggest goal I got with my hair alone, because I don't really look at my successes or my businesses as just one. I just call myself an entrepreneur because I have multiple branches. So with hair, that's my biggest milestone. But with my clothing brand, I still want to own a storefront. So honestly, it's all going to tie in together. I don't know exactly what that is in my mind, but in my mind, I want to have a big old warehouse, and I want, if I can, 100 people working in there with all different professions, not only hairstylists, but estheticians, nail techs, tattoo artists. I want to have a downstairs food court, so personal chefs. I want big, a clothing line. I want people to be able to sell their stuff in there. As you know, I do pop-up shops, so I want to make sure that all the business owners, it's just not a cosmetology vibe. That's why, when people ask me about the shop, I'm like, I don't even know if that's what I want right now.
Right.
So, yeah.
I love that. I really respect that, because you can feel rushed. Like you said, people can put what they feel like where you should be at right now at the moment, or what you should have. And I think especially in our day and age with how social media is, they want you to rush into everything, rush into entrepreneurship. Y'all know I had a cosmetic business, and I still do, but now you'll wonder why my business and other business since COVID really shut down, because it's more than just starting one. There's so much more that goes into it. So I love how you said granted, maybe I could go get a shop next year, or whatever situation may be, but I want to learn the ins and out of it. I want to learn what happens when it goes wrong, or
I tell people I don't just want to get a shop and it be hoping and seeing. No, I want my shop to be there for 20 years, for 30. I don't want just, I want to own my building. I don't want to just buy something from a landlord, I want to make sure, this is what I'm doing. This is what I want to do. So, and then that's the thing, you got to be consistent.
Yes.
Starting a business is anything. Anybody could wake up one day and sell a shirt. But consistently like, you know, making sure that you're on top of things. That's the hardest thing with being just an entrepreneur, period.
Yeah.
Like, as a hairstylist, I have to make sure I'm consistently posting. I'm consistently making sure everybody, because, you know, they like to say stylists pick and choose. And it's not even that. It's just sometimes stylists have their off days. Everybody has an off day. Not that I'm making excuses, but it's just the reality of it. And a lot of people think, oh, people pick and choose whose hair they want to do nice. No, you just have to be consistent with what you're doing.
Right.
So, you know, everybody, like, when they look at somebody, I can tell people's work. Like, I could tell who people go to for their hair. Because everybody have their own touch on it. So you can just, you want to make sure you're consistent with it, you know. But that's...
No, that's facts. Definitely consistency is the biggest thing. It will literally make or break. And I know it's something I struggle with. Even like, you know, you want to know what's so crazy? Literally, I was talking to myself because I'm like, I'm on social media too much to where it's like I'm addicted in a way and I hate it, right? But it's like, girl, that don't make sense if you have a sports page that you don't even like, or I should say like a media page that you don't even like post like on stuff. You get what I'm saying? So nobody is really going to know who you are. Like, you'll have people watching you, big people following you, and then it's like, okay, you made a post 2 weeks ago. Like, why do you make another post? Like, you know what I'm saying? And you have to post like every day. So no, I definitely respect that. I definitely understand that. And I can't wait to see this big salon. Got the food court at the bottom. But no, that's going to be big. And I love it too. I think what you just said, it reminded me of like how my best friend was, because I'm like, okay, you know, and she's always like, no, like, let me sit back, let me make sure, let me think about this, like, you get what I'm saying? Because you can definitely get something like superficial, quick, whatever, but it's like, nah, like, I really, like you said, I want this shop to be here for 20, 30 years and so on and so forth. So yeah, I love that. So what geared you into clothing? Because I love how you just be popping out and it just be popping too.
Yeah, sometimes. Yeah. So honestly, I started my clothing line. I graduated high school in 2021. Yeah. So I was in Cosmo school. I went to Cosmo school right after high school. So I was in school and I'm just like, I support everybody else's business. First of all, I'm like, I'm not a big dresser, but I like to look nice. Like, I'm tired of buying from designers that don't even know us.
Right, yeah.
And Pittsburgh is a designer hub. Like, there is a lot of big name, like, big people, but there's still a lot of designers that we don't even know. Like, when I do pop-up shops and I'm like, yo, your stuff is nice. And I've, not even to be rude, but like, I've never heard of it.
Yeah.
So it's like, I support everybody, so I feel like the support should be mutual when I start mine. So I just did it on a step belief. I paid somebody to make a logo. I told them what I had in mind. I didn't want the logo too girly. I wanted it unisex because, you know, I hang around my brother and his friends a lot. So I wanted to make sure it was something that they could network, because at the time, all of them were all the way at different schools, at different campuses, different following bases. So I need to make sure it was something unisex that people could like, oh, shoot. So a lot of people say, like, my logo looks like True Religion. It really don't, but I can see how people say that. So it still draw your attention. And then once people was like, oh, that's Dom's brand, Unique Apparel. Oh, you're hard because you tied in your whole name. But, yeah, like, I don't know. It's just something I woke up one day and I was just like, let me just start a clothing brand. And
so
I just started with
Unique
the shirt.
Come from your middle name or?
Dominique.
Oh, just from?
Yeah, I just took Nate, like, because my hair name's Dom Diddy, and then my clothing brand is Unique Apparel. So
I love that, though. I don't know why I didn't connect that, but I love that.
Like, my clients will sit down in my chair like, your name's Dominique, and I'm like, I mean,
well, I think it was I'm thinking it was the Unique. That's probably, but that makes sense. But because I love that.
Yeah, you just came like I wanted it to be unique, and then
unisex at the same time.
You know, so it kind of all like tied together.
Yeah, I love that. Sorry, it took me 35 business days to get that. Oh my god.
But yeah, I really like doing that. It kind of that kind of helps me stay, not that being a hairstylist doesn't help me stay connected, but like Unique Apparel really helps me. Like with my pop-up shops, I feel like I could do like community events. Like my first annual pop-up shop was last August, and it was a very good turnout. I have a lot of family from like the outskirts, so I had a lot of people out from Johnstown coming in. My aunt owns a business out there, so she got a lot of her business friends to come out. I had A lot of people, but it still humbled me because at the same time, a lot of people didn't even know who I was.
Mm-hmm.
So the fact that I'm hosting a pop-up shop and
Mm-hmm.
I also have 2 different businesses of my own,
Mm-hmm.
I'm networking still. So once I did that, I feel like it kind of put my name out there a little bit. But that's
Mm-hmm.
that's really what my goal is, to just keep pushing my name out there,
Mm-hmm.
just so, I could get bigger and bigger turnout, because I want to do it annually. So
Yeah, I love that too. I think it's in Pittsburgh, like, we do get blindsided and we don't really realize how many people like that, are talented, like, in our city. And like you said, I've seen people with brands. I'm like, you live in Pittsburgh? Like, you live down the street for real?
Yeah.
Like, yo, your stuff is hard. You get what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So it, weirdly, as small as our city is, it really is just like, I don't know, you don't see it. I don't know what it,
like, they are very honest when they say Pittsburgh doesn't support, and it doesn't, sadly, but I mean, that's just what it is. Like, when people say Pittsburgh don't support, you just gotta take that under the chin, and that's when you really have to network.
Mm-hmm.
Like, even with my hair page, I tag West Virginia, I tag Ohio, I tag Philly, and I actually get people that come from West Virginia, Ohio, Philly. Like, that works. So it's just all about your networking, your branding technique. Like, I've been up Slippery Rock for their pop-up shop, and a whole bunch of designers. Like, I met a designer, he's Antonio Brown's personal designer, and makes stuff personally for him, but I've bought stuff off of him just off the strength of, your stuff is hard. Like, and he's right down the street, so you really just gotta network yourself and just, don't cut yourself short, like, with the mindset of Pittsburgh don't support, because if you know that and you just take it and accept that, then you're not going to get nowhere. You have to know, like, all I got to do is just network a little harder. That's literally all you got to do.
So it's like Pittsburgh, like, a base, like, you're like, okay, like, this is where I'm staying and I'm gonna make it work here, or have you ever thought about, like, well, like, I know you said you want to do, like, multiple shops everywhere, but just, like, in general, like, did you ever feel like moving, or even being like a travel designer or a travel hairstylist, like?
So to be honest, when I first started, I was big on, I'm not staying here, but as I'm getting older, I'm not going to say that Pittsburgh's my final destination, but I'm not closed off to ever moving. You know? So, I mean, it's just up
whatever
to
it comes.
I just let stuff fall into place how it should. I don't really try to plan too specific.
Absolutely.
So, I mean, if I'm steered this way, if I'm steered that way, if I move down south, if I move, I'm not closed off to it, but I am interested in definitely being a traveling hairstylist. I don't want to ever limit myself to just saying I'm a Pittsburgh hairstylist. So, yeah.
Absolutely. I love that. Even how you talked about, like, who you're tagging in your hashtags. Like, for all my content creators or just, like, people in the media, like, your hashtags are everything. And the networking is so important. Like I said, like, you're not going to meet people just sitting at home. And Pittsburgh is small. I really don't know where our people be hiding. But when you go to the network events, I promise you, like, it's about who you know. Like, the reason that I was in the position I was in was because of who I knew. And that was who was able to get me to the next spot. So... heavy on networking, definitely, recommend it. So, but I love it. Like, you're a jack of all trades. Is there anything else that you would think you would, like, get into, like, besides, like, designing and, being a hairstylist?
As of now, I haven't thought of anything. I am licensed in everything in the beauty industry, so I mean, anything that I just branch off and do, I don't really look at it as a new venture, even though it would be. But, I mean, I don't want to limit myself with just being a hairstylist. So I could see myself doing other services in the future, in the long run. Right now, I'm really not. The biggest thing I got coming up is I'm about to start teaching school for cosmetology this month. Well, next week, next Monday. I start teaching school. So with that, I'll be able... I honestly, actually, I'm looking into teaching mainly in high school cosmetology programs. I don't really mind teaching in the schools, like the actual empires and stuff. But yeah, that's the biggest thing right now. And with that teacher's license, you could be like a brand representative and stuff. So I'm really just not trying to limit myself with just being behind the chair, because I'm one person who I can't do one thing forever. I can't do one thing for too long.
Yep.
That's why I started the clothing business, because I couldn't be behind the chair all day and that'd be my only income.
Right.
So that's the next thing I do have coming up. So I'm being in school for the next 4 months and then I'll be done.
That's exciting. I love that. I even look at that as a way of giving back, like going to these high schoolers and teaching them. And
yeah, we're gonna see.
Yeah, it's gonna
being a teacher was my first career. Like when you, as a kid or ex, like what you want to be when you grow up, I always would say a teacher. So now it's kind of like, I even used to have imaginary friends. I used to do imaginary school in my room. Like I really actually wanted to be a teacher for a long time. So I'm just tie it all together. Let's see if it works. If it don't, I mean, I'm still young, trial and error.
Yeah, exactly. You don't have to be committed or tied down to one thing. Like genuinely, like, I love that about you. Like, how you're saying, like, I don't know. Like, if I'm here at that time, that's when I'm here. Because sometimes when we try to put ourselves on a timeline, it takes out a lot of us, and it probably makes you depressed, like not happy, because you feel like you should be here at this point, like, you know. So something I realized, like, there's times where I'm like, dang, like, I'm not where I want to be, but then there's also somebody who's looking at me and like, dang, I wish where she was at, and I'm not where I want to be. So I think it's just being content in where you're at, and even if you're not where you want to be, I feel like don't let that make you upset. Just kind of write out your goals, and every day just create habits to do that, because when you're ready to change your life and you're ready to do better, be prepared to go through some things. Like, and I'm talking about a lot, like, within yourself. You feel me? Because you're going to have to adapt to a lot of your bad habits. Like, you're going to, and whenever, I feel like people make everything sound so pretty. Yeah. And it's like, and I hate to be like the bearer of bad news. Like, at the end of this, I swear it is, but during the process.
Yeah, it's not. Like, people look at me and they're like, you're lit. You got your own business. You got it going on. I'm like, I don't have it going on. Like, I hate when people actually say that, because it's far from the truth. Like, yeah, I'm better than what I was doing yesterday, but that's the whole point of life. You're supposed to grow. Like, you're not supposed to be in the same spot forever. But where I'm at now is not where I want to be in the next 10 years. So, like, the biggest thing, honestly, with that topic is, so when we graduated, I went straight to Cosmo School. I gave myself 2 months, and then boom, Cosmo School, 9 months. I graduated in May 2022. So my career started, I graduated on Cinco de Mayo. I graduated May 5th, 2022. My career started that next Monday, May 8th, 2022. So I've been in my career for 2 years consecutively now. Mind you, people my age are in college still. At that time, they're only in their sophomore year. At that time, some people are still changing their major every semester. At that, like, and I have this conversation with my brother all the time. You can't compare your life with mine, or your place in life with mine. I've took a different route. So even though it looks like, oh, I'm not, like, because my career, like, this is where I want to be and this is where I'm at. And you looking at it from your point of view, like, people define success with money, and that's not it at all.
Oh, my gosh,
it's not it at all. And even with that, I'm not even where I want to be with that. So, I mean, that's the biggest thing is, like, I feel like a lot of people compare with what I'm doing, but we took different paths. So, I'm an entrepreneur. I'm already in my field. I don't need to go to school. I've did my schooling. The schooling I'm doing now is optional. Like, I do hair legally. I make money without looking over my shoulder. So I've done everything I needed to do. I have an LLC. I'm literally legit in what I do. So I don't have to do anything else. Rather, my friends who want to be lawyers or teachers, you need this and that. I've done everything I needed to do. So and now I'm just grinding. Like, this is up to me. And they don't understand. As an entrepreneur, it's 10 times more harder, because if I want to make money tomorrow, it's up to me to go and make that money. It's not like I got a salary. It's not like I got a legitimate pay.
It depends on if this person's going to show up to get their hair done. And if it's,
Exactly. That's why people don't understand no call, no shows, or
horrible.
Like, for real, literally, like, you can't, like, I literally came here with the intent of making money, and I'm leaving not making no money at all. So
and that's what I respect with you about, even like how you talked about just doing multiple things that you're having, because like you said, first of all, a lot of people define success by how much money and it's not.
Yeah.
But also to understanding that, like, especially in this economy, like, you cannot just have one job. Like, you need to be fine. And I'm not even saying like you got to have a second job that's like super hard or something, but just finding another way to like really like have income. And how she talked about like, you know, just being an entrepreneur is like not easy. You think, I don't want to work my 9 to 5, I'm tired of it. You're about to be working 24 hours.
Yeah.
I know when I was like doing my cosmetic line, like it was so hard. Like there were so many like sleepless nights, like late nights, early mornings. Sometimes I just did over, you know, like not even going to sleep. And that's just because of me believing in myself.
Yeah.
And it's like, how do you even, I think what was hard with me was like, how do you even like brand and really like sell a cosmetic, let alone hair? Granted, they could buy the $20, $40 Dior lip gloss or whatever, but how can I convince them to buy like my $5, $7 one? Because they're gonna be like what? Like, why do I want to buy this?
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm
saying? Why do I want to buy it?
I could go get a $1 lip gloss right now at the hair store. Like, I'm not about to. So I think even like learning about that. And I think if you can, and sometimes you just have to be mindful of this and wise, because not everybody is there to help you. But if you could find a mentor, and I mean in anything you're doing, if you could find a mentor, somebody like who's willing to just guide you,
swear.
That's the biggest thing. I got to give it to Miss Nellis from the SBDC when I went to Clarion. Like, she put me on everything, like how to really like get my LLC. Like, I did it myself the first time. I don't know what happened. And so it was like a blessing in disguise, because I ended up changing. I went from India V Cosmetics to Avi Beauty, and I ended up changing my whole thing, and she was able to help me and everything like that. But it's just so much. Like, you have to want it. You have to be consistent. And nowadays, like, you have to be your own, unless you have the money to do it, but you have to be your own like content creator. Yeah. And that is really so like, I have to get, this is the habits that I'm talking about now. Like, you have to get used to those habits. You don't want to do it, but look, you need to start, okay, this is the content I'm going to do it. I'm going to be like, I'm going to have discipline. Yeah. Like, that's actually what it's really
discipline.
Like,
I used to be more disciplined than I am now, and I'm kind of mad that I kind of fell off of it, because once you fall off, it's hard to get
back. It is, yeah.
But I used to make sure I posted Sunday every single Sunday. I made sure I posted all my clients. Like, I know people would kind of see, because I would post like clients back to back every Sunday. But now, I mean, I kind of do it at my own leisure. And a lot of people probably like, why don't you post me? I don't really post a lot of stuff. But I used to be way more disciplined, even with my clothing brand. Like, I haven't fell back, but I have fell back. The fashion show, which was in April, was like the last thing I kind of did recently for my clothing line. I kind of just been wanting to just take the time with it and not just rush in and start throwing stuff out. Like, the next drop I want to do, I want it to be something completely different. Yeah. I feel like I was kind of reusing the same idea and just taking spins on it, and I didn't want to do that, because then that's when it started looking like it's just getting thrown out and it's lazy. Yeah. So, no, that's the one thing, like, yeah.
What's like, what's been like your biggest, I don't want to say downfall, but just like a really hard moment for you through entrepreneurship, whether it was with hair or like your clothing line?
My biggest downfall.
I wouldn't say downfall, but just like your biggest like, oh, this was tough, or okay, I know not to do this next time.
So, what you were just talking about, so a lot of people look at it like, oh, you have a career where you could just do whatever you want. You can work whenever you want. Like, the rest is nice. When I first started doing hair, just in my basement, I remodeled my basement, put some flooring down and painted. And I was doing hair, and I would be doing hair until 4 a.m. I would be doing hair. I used to do hair in my bedroom. I used to be up till 5 a.m, and I used to still work at Giant Eagle. So I would have work at 7 a.m, and I just went to sleep at 4 making somebody's wig. It used to take me hours to sew wigs, handmade. So I really like, I could say, like, yeah, you make your own schedule, but I'm the type of person, like, I never understood why people who get free money just don't work. If I'm getting free money, I'm going to go get a job, too. Yeah. That's exactly how I look at it. Like, if I'm up, I can make some money. Like, I'm not just going to be up on my butt. Like, that's a real rare moment, especially, like, if I don't have clients and I'm chilling, it's because I need to chill. Yeah. Like, it's not because I want to. But my biggest downfall is honestly the slow periods.
Yeah.
They're not the best, but it happens every year, and it happens at the same time of the year. So now I kind of know how to prepare for it. Like, right before the holidays, people are worried about, getting gifts, and then they'll worry about their hair last minute, like the week before Christmas. Like, my boat could literally be dry, and it fills up that week. So the biggest downfall, or the biggest thing I don't really care for, is how a lot of people could post their book and it sells. They booked up in the month. Like, they're booked up for the month in a day. I'm still not at that point yet, which I'm transparent about it. I'm not, like, I tell my clients all the time, I got openings, just text me. Like, if you don't see something, I'm not selling, I will be at the shop till 1 a.m. I've been there. I can't even count how many times. It probably happens at least at the minimum 4 times a month. Like, I'm at the shop late all the time, because if I don't have no responsibility, I don't got no kids to run home to, I don't got no daycare to run to pick somebody up. I really don't have no obligations to nobody. So it's like, if I'm not doing nothing, and I'd rather be making money than spending it, because 9 times out of 10, if I'm not at the shop on a Friday at 1 a.m., I'm outside. I mean, I do go to sleep. Like, there's a lot of times I sit it out, but I'm saying, like, Saturdays I leave early. Like, I don't work late, but Friday nights, Thursday nights, I'm there late as heck, and I don't care, because at the end of the day, there's money to be made. Like,
I was talking to somebody else about how, like, they talked about the slow time like in a salon. So that's crazy that you brought that up. I feel like
it's
nobody,
real. It's real.
Like,
it's something that happens. At the same time, now I know how to prepare for it. Like, financially, all right, we're not just spending anything. We know there's about to be a slow period. Like, bills still got to be due. Like, people think, since I live with my mom. No, I still got bills. Like, I still got a car. I still got a lot of stuff. So it's like, you just got to mentally, financially prepare for that, because it is hard. Like, a lot of hairstylists, they look for a little part-time. And I've always tried to do it, but I really think it's God, because some has really always been in the way of me finding a part-time job while it's a slow period. Like, I've even tried to months in advance prepare for it. Like, I know there's a slow period around September, so I prepared to apply to a little home health care. I've prepared in the end of July, August, and she could find me nothing. But I really think it was, no, like, that's not what you're supposed to be doing. Like, I don't want you to get distracted, So I think that's really why I already was going to do the teacher in school, but then I'm just like, I could get part-times with my license. Like, I don't, it's a $1 billion industry, and there's a whole bunch of things you could do within it. So I'm just like, let me just see what else I could do in that aspect of it. So yeah, that's the big downfall there, and people don't really understand. Like, when you have a 9 to 5, you get a 2-week, if not every week, paycheck. I don't get that. I have an everyday paycheck, which people think is lovely, but no. Like, I got to be 10 times more on top of my money, see where this is going, where that's going. Like, my biggest thing is I spend a lot of money on food, so I need to make sure, I'm not overdoing it, because at the end of the day, my client tomorrow could cancel, and that could be my client that pays for all my bills,
Right.
So,
no, that's a real definitely managing and, like, prioritizing what you need to do. And even, like, how you said with the food, that's why I've been trying to food prep, but, like, I be eating it in, like, 2 days.
Yeah. And then food prep is so hard, because
it is.
I don't want to eat chicken and rice for 5 days straight, and then I got to eat it for dinner too.
Right.
So, but I don't really, I'm not that bad with it, though. It's just the consistency. Like, me and my mom, we be trying, but I be having to leave her sometimes. Girl, like, you ain't on top of it. Yeah, like, but my mom really used to be on top of it. That's why I even got into it. But ever since, But once I start school, I'm definitely, because I'm be in school from 9 to 4. I'm only going to have a little slot of clients, so I need to save as much. I need to make sure I'm not spending as much, because I'm going to be right in Monroeville trying to eat at every single fast food spot that's in Arms Reach. No, I ain't doing
that's
that.
That's fair. That's where Dama's really the jack of all trades, and she's definitely been cheering forever, literally. So.
I really have.
And even, like I said, playing basketball. What other sports did you do?
I did basketball, volleyball, softball.
You did do volleyball.
Yeah, basketball, volleyball, softball, and I cheered.
I love that.
And cheering, man, if you know, then you know. All right, so this is the story. So what we did was, okay, we're going to try our pep squad. So we did the trials at the end of my 10th grade year. Yeah, we did the trials at the end of my 10th grade year. Boom, we got a 30-girl team. And that was so surprising because I didn't even think people was really even going to do it. But once they seen people's names on it, like not just no random people, like not that I'm nobody, but like they seen like, oh, we're not just throwing something together. Like we really trying. And then they all know we cheer in real life. So we're like, yeah, like we trying to get something going. We trying to hype the school up. Like our football team was good at the time. Like we're really trying to hype the school up. Yeah. So I'm on some, like we're going to make sure like our high school experience. So boom. And a lot of people don't even know. And I was just thinking about this the other day. We practiced all summer. We had heat week. We had cheer camp. We had all that. We even tried to bond with the football team because I don't like when cheerleaders don't know the football players. Like, because we had a whole bunch of girls. We had girls from every grade. And a lot of people just didn't know the football players. So I made sure like we all bonded. Like we all know each other. Not even on some couples. Just on some we all know each other. So boom, first game. And a lot of people don't even know my brother passed away the week before my first game. And his viewing was the same day as that Friday of the first game. So I was so mad, but I'm just like, it's cool. And our uniforms wasn't in time. So we had to be in the stands. For some odd reason, we still had to be in the stands and everything. But fast forward, we wrote a letter to Colbert like, yo, this is what we were really trying to do. We're trying to hype up the school spirit. That was our main thing, was just, even when we had that pep rally when we first introduced ourselves, man, we had the whole school from 6 to 12 hype.
I remember that.
So once I seen that, I'm like, oh, we're going to be okay with that attack. Yeah. So I'm like, all right, we got our uniforms, we got everything, so now we're set. We got our school buses paid for. But like that was my biggest accomplishment at Obama, and it's so funny because I do a lot of my clients are young Obama girls, but you know the people in high school now we wasn't in school with, and they say they on the cheer team and all that, and I'm like, yeah, you know I started that. Like, you always give credits to Dice. Like Dice is a good team. Dice and Carrick. I think it's Carrick. Yeah, Carrick got the big cheer team. They don't even cheer with us. They in a whole nother. But man, I always give credit to Coach Ava Autumn. Like I would never just be like, oh, Dice is weak. Nah, I even LLDE or
Dom. Like I said, I watched it like because we're just like a grade apart, and I watched it like, so it would really be up to the band at first, but I feel like having a pep squad like made it like 10 times better because you got the band playing the ball.
Make routines
to
the songs.
Like,
absolutely. Man, we would just like, we knew stuff, so we would just do little 8 counts. Everybody follow after us, and boom,
and that's
boom, and it became a routine. And like, my biggest thing was to get people. We need a school spirit. Like I really wasn't accepting of how nobody came to no basketball games, no football games. Like what? Even as even with the girls team. So that's why I made sure when we was cheering, we made it to girls games. We made it to this. We made it to that. Like that was my biggest thing. Like I just wanted to make sure we had school spirit. And once I seen people were starting to actually come to the football games, sit on our side. Like it's a Dice and Obama game, and you sit on the Dice side and you go to Obama. But then it started like, nah, like this is my school and we hard. Yes, like come on. Like it was cool. It was a nice dynamic.
So Dom is humble, but she definitely, and like you said, and other people were a part of her, like who really did start that. So like if you're on it now, because you said it's still like,
they're just a cheer team now. They like they don't even call it the pep squad.
But it's still like
Miss Clark run it.
Okay, so like if she really did lay it, like literally we watched it for her. Because you planted the seed and you laid the foundation, and now it's going to continue to grow. So Lord, I was watching a sermon by Sarah Jake Roberts, and she was talking about like, because I'm like a big like routine, or I'll try to have it a certain way. It's the same way my best friend was, and she was like, sometimes like your routines like block your blessing because your routines are actually making you so small when God has something bigger. So now you're trying to fit God into the small routine, and he's like, no, like he got bigger plans for you.
Like you don't even
know it. So I'm not saying like, I'm definitely saying like, you know, if you feel like, okay, this is how I want to start my morning, my night, by all means, absolutely, but don't let your routine get in the way of, you know, something good for you, and be dare to be different. There's so many content creators that I see now, maybe they're comedy and now are doing food. Like you don't have to stick to one thing, and just take like one day at a time. You should always
live in the moment. Like I feel like when you're always planning for the future, you're never realizing how far like you are from where you was.
Yeah.
Like, even when you're realizing that, you're still not living in the moment. Like, people don't ever understand to really just, like, let it, like when we're out of town, like, I travel a lot. So when we're out of town, I love when we ain't all on our phones.
Yeah.
Because just look, like, you know, like, I done been to 5 different islands just this
I love
year.
that.
And I just love to chill on the beach. And my friends be like, why do you always want to just sit in the sun? But it's just like, I like to just take it all in. And just, like, really just think about, like, how far, like, I'm in a whole nother country right now, you know? And I don't got no 9 to 5. I don't got no college degree. I'm really just, this is my life, you know? And I just feel like that's, like, I really thank God for, like, the way that everything has played out for me and is playing out for me. And I just always want to make sure I live in the moment, and I appreciate everything that's coming when it is coming. Like, I don't ever want to be, oh, I wish this, I wish that, I hope for this, I hope for that. Like, I know what I want. I know what the goal is, but I need to make sure I realize where I am right now, too. Like, I'm grounded. I don't ever want to be just not in the moment.
Oh, we talked about a lot. But I'm so grateful for you coming on the show, girl. I'm glad that we can make this happen. This was a long time coming. I did take a break, and then I got back into the swing of things. So I'm grateful to have this beautiful queen here.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, so any last remarks, anything that you want to wrap up or say?
But my advice would just really be like what we really was talking about. Just if you are thinking about doing something, or just do it. Like, a lot of people just worry about other people's opinions and everything. But honestly, if that's something that you want to do, then you should only be worried about your own opinion. So, I mean, that's my biggest thing. Stay grounded. Just live in the moment. Like, everything. I mean, I don't want to sound all godly, but, like, for real, I've just been letting go and letting God, like, really just direct and just be, like, a lot of people, I'm really just not looking by, I'm walking by faith and not by sight, like, for real. And I just been letting everything just naturally happen. So, other than that, no, I don't have nothing.
Well, I just want to say, like, I don't know if you know, but you really just impacted me.
Oh, thank
you.
You're
welcome with just, like, you know, even like your own way of a testimony, or just like how you stay and just being grounded, letting go and letting God, and kind of just going with the flow of life. I think you have to. Yeah. And like I said, guys, like, sometimes our routine is so small. What we have for us is so small. We don't even realize that God has something bigger. So I just want to thank you. You want to drop your socials and any of
my hair page is, my hair Instagram is _Dom Did It.
Dom Did It.
And then my clothing page is _u.neek apparel. I think it's u.neek_apparel. And then my personal Instagram is that's.dom. So other than that,
anything we should be looking forward to?
This teacher's license.
Yes.
October 2024.
Yes.
We're going to see where it's going, but
yes, you'll get
that's the next step. I don't really have nothing. I told you, I just be
going. You be going with
I just be going. So we're going to see what this happens. But
all right, y'all. So until next time, bye.